In fact, before we hit the road, I want to show you two things that you can do to your Range Rover to prevent it from getting stolen, all right? So, Range Rover, every time I post a video on a Range Rover, it gets a lot of interest, a lot of attention, a lot of funny comments in the comments section below. The reason for that is lots of people love them, but also lots of people hate them. So in this video, we're going to be talking about why are the prices on these cars plummeting currently, and also why have I chosen this car as my favourite purchase of the week. So, 2014 Range Rover Sport. This car has been in stock at Binker a couple of times now. In fact, this is the third time it's been in stock. We bought it about 2 years ago, sold it to a customer. He then part exchanged it back in about 6 months ago. We then sold it to another customer, and that customer has he's driven about 4,000 or 5,000 miles in it, and he's been having difficulty insuring it. So he's now part exchanged it back in, bought himself a Mercedes, because basically his daily commute is, he doesn't live in London, but he commutes to London. And that is what has affected his insurance premium massively. Insurance companies are basically saying, if you're commuting to London or you live in and around London or any big cities, your insurance premium on your Range Rover, it's going to be expensive. That's if you're lucky enough that they're going to insure you. Now, obviously this has a massive impact on the prices of these cars, and we're going to go through all that shortly. Well, I say that. Is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? We're going to talk about that in a bit, all right? So this is an early car, obviously a 2014. It's an autobiography, which is like the top spec bar the SVR. So it's got absolutely everything on it. It's done 90,000 miles. And I look at this car and I think for just over £20,000, you can drive a Range Rover Sport. Now, I took this car home last night because I talk about it a lot. I want to get myself a car, yeah? I've done that trip to GVE recently, and we looked at what car I could buy with a £20,000 deposit and £1,000 a month. We looked at maybe spending as much as £2,000 a month, which is ridiculous. But when you're spending £2,000 a month, it's crazy money. You can get something as nice as like a Rolls-Royce Wraith, which I would personally love. I'm not even going to say this ticks as many boxes as a Rolls-Royce Wraith, but it's luxury, it's comfortable, and you don't have to pay 1,500 quid a month on top of your £20,000 deposit. You can literally buy one of these cars for the value of the deposit on a same age Rolls Royce, which is bonkers. So on the outside of this car, you can see it's got, I think their wheels are an optional extra. I'm a bit unsure about their wheels, but I think the black and grey contrast looks really good. On the front end, it's got the black grills, got a few black touches, black mirrors, black roof as well, which looks really good. It's got fixed side steps. Fixed side steps. They're so much better than the retractable ones. The retractable ones, I mean, they're a cool feature. Don't get me wrong, I think they're quite cool to look. I don't know, they're a bit gimmicky. I think they are a bit gimmicky, and I think they're just better when they're more solid like that. This car could do with the big plate on the back. Doesn't have that. I think by preference I would rather have that, but it is a specialist cars plate. Specialist cars are actually a BMW dealer, so I'm assuming it's been through them at some point in its life. On the inside, it's an autobiography. So autobiographies pretty much come with, like, off the top of my head, Meridian sound, an Alcantara or a leather roof lining, depending on which one you prefer. I think personally I prefer an Alcantara one. This car's got a grey Alcantara roof lining, it's got a pan roof, it's got reverse camera, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and heated seats in the rear as well. This particular car's got, I think that's called dark oak, it might be ashwood, I don't know, but it's got like a wood dash, which I think looks really good as well. So what we need to do now is we need to talk about prices, yeah? We really need to talk about prices, because that is like the key factor in this video, and we need to continue talking about why I think this is my favourite purchase of the week. Also, we're going to hit the road, we're going to do draggy times. I think the fastest car on my draggy leaderboard, let's check that out. So we have had a few Range Rovers in the past, yeah? The fastest Range Rover that I've had on the channel is a Range Rover Velar. That was in a recent video. That done 20 to 70 mile an hour in 7.26 seconds. The slowest one we've had on the channel is a 2012 Sport, 3 litre diesel, 255 horsepower. I think that was the white one. That was quite a while back. That done it in 10.14 seconds. This is only 20 to 70 mile an hour times, by the way, if you're new here, but it's quite an interesting sort of gauge to see how quick your Range Rover is, all right? So we're gonna see how it falls amongst all of these. We've also got a 2018 Vogue on there, done it in 8.58, and the old 2007 V8 diesel Vogue, that done it in 9.91, all right? So 300 horsepower these are. They weigh about 2,200 kilos, so 200 kilos more than the Velar, but same engine, so it's gonna be slower than the Velar, innit? We'll find out. In fact, before we hit the road, I want to show you two things that you can do to your Range Rover to prevent it from getting stolen, all right? Tip number one is this car has got keyless entry, yeah? Which when you've got the key in your pocket, you walk up to it, it opens up automatically. Basically, when the car thieves nick your car, they're picking up a signal that your car puts out, yeah? And the way that it puts that car out is through that keyless entry system. So you want to turn that off really. So you've got the key that puts out a signal, and then you've got the car that puts out a signal. To disable the signal from the car, you want to turn the keyless entry off. So simply open up the door, yeah, after you've unlocked it, put the key inside the car, and then press the light button there 3 times, 2, 3, then the unlock button. And now when you close the door, it's annoying because it's quite a cool feature. It's a very cool feature, it's very handy. But you lock the car now, yeah, walk away from it. And then we can go back up to it, Cal. When you put your hand there now, it doesn't automatically unlock. So it means you've got to physically unlock the car with the key. It's not the end of the world. That is one tip that's gonna help you or stop you from getting your car stolen, all right? Tip number 2 is very, very simple. Get your key and put it inside a theft box, yeah? You can get these on Amazon, they're about 20, 30 quid. They are 20, 30 quid so well spent. So that means when you go to bed at night, yeah, get your key, put it in the theft box, put it away from the front door as well, just to be double secure. And whilst it's in that box, the key will no longer put out a signal, or no one will be able to pick up a signal from the key. And when your comfort entry is turned off, there's no way anyone can pick up a signal from your car, all right? I'm not saying that's an absolute must. If you want a third tip, get yourself a ghost alarm, yeah? Because no one's nicking your car when you've got a ghost alarm, all right? Yeah, free advice, take it from Cal. Oh, and by the way, if you want to put your comfort access, say comfort access, that's like BMW language, keyless entry. If you want to turn that back on, you literally just do it the other way around. You press the light button 3 times, 2, 3, and press the lock button. And then it will reactivate your keyless entry, all right? So I am going to leave it off on this car for obvious reasons. I don't want it going walkies. So 1, 2, 3, unlock. Done. Keyless entry deactivated. So that's all good. Quick hashtag key check, by the way. I say hashtag key check. This is not the actual finish of the key. It's got like a cover over it, which is quite neat, but I do find this bit just a little bit silly. You can't even get that on your keys. So whoever designed that is a bit of a silly billy, but it looks good, doesn't it? So what also looks good is the whole interior of this car. You've got to consider this car is pretty much, it's 10 years old. It's 10 years old. Look how nice this car is. And that's why I drove it home last night, because I thought, like, going back to me having my own car, could I daily drive, or would I daily drive a Range Rover? And I absolutely would. I love these cars, man. I think they're proper good value for money. Even like this roof line. Look at that roof lining. It's just unreal. It's because I didn't open the door. It's because I didn't open the door. See? It was all good though. It works. It works. It is annoying that they're getting stolen, by the way, isn't it? It's like, I mean, I suppose they're getting stolen because they're good and people love them. I think they must just be shipping them abroad. I don't know what they're doing with them, but it is a little bit annoying because you've got these good, honest, hard-working people that are going out and spending their money on a Range Rover, which is a dream car for a lot of people, and then they've got worry. Well, they've got 2 worries. 1, they've got to worry about it getting stolen, and 2, they've got to worry about how much their insurance is going to be. So it is a bit annoying. It's not a bit annoying, it's very annoying, but they are a nice car, so I kind of get why everyone wants one for nothing, but I'm not supportive of it. So let's quickly look at what should we look at first? Car Vertical. Massive thank you to Car Vertical for sponsoring this video. They are absolutely brilliant. They're a big support for the channel. Without them, this channel wouldn't be where it is today. Like, they're absolutely brilliant. And if you want to use them, I will link them in the description below. Use my code CCD to get a discount on your check. It's basically a history check for your car, right? So anyone can do this. Get on there, tell you everything you need to know about your car. Has it been stolen? Has it been clocked? Has it got any finance on it? And has it had any previous damage? You want to do this when you're buying a used car because you just want to know what you're buying. So this one here, you can see as a perfect example, it's all green ticks, not been stolen. The mileage is all good. No finance and no previous damage. It's got a little blog there about Range Rovers themselves. And you can scroll down. I think the bit I find really interesting is the mileage graph itself. Look at that. Very neat, very consistent. Like with a lot of cars, it sat around during lockdown. No, it didn't sit around during lockdown too much though. It sat around a little bit, then it started moving again. In fact, it done less miles before lockdown than it did during lockdown. So that's quite interesting. But again, you get to know your car before you buy it, and I think it's just good to do it. So I will link them in the description below, and don't forget to use my code CCD to get a discount. Also, I'm going to show you, as ever, an example of a poor check on Car Vertical. This is, yeah, that's basically what you don't want to see when you're doing a car check or when you're about to buy a used car. You don't want to see that. So be very careful and be cautious and do your checks, all right? So we're also going to jump onto my system now, which is enterreg.com. I think before we do that, actually, let's quickly talk about a TikTok video that I recently posted. For those that follow me on TikTok, if you don't, give me a follow. We'll link that below as well. Let me quickly find the video. Panicking at the minute because here it is. This is what sparked me to do this video, because I'd done this video on TikTok. It got a few comments and that. It didn't actually do that well. My TikToks generally all do pretty well, and then this one just didn't, but that's irrelevant. Really interesting subject. And I've done a bit of research and discovered that the Range Rover boss is fully aware of this issue with cars getting stolen. And I can imagine he's massively frustrated about it. There's examples in that video of people that have been trying to get insurance on their Range Rover and then discovering that their insurance premium has tripled. But the general feeling is, if you live in a big city like London or Manchester, then that's when you're going to get an issue. Or if you're commuting, like I said, with the customer that bought this car off of us, if you're commuting into one of these big cities, then they're going to have a bit of an issue. But if you live outside of those cities, if it's a non-ULEZ car, yeah, doesn't matter because you're not traveling into the city. And if you're concerned about insurance premiums, well, you ain't got to worry about that, because it seems like the general feeling is insurance premiums aren't affected outside of those cities, all right? So something else. What was I going to say? There was another concern. There was another concern. There was a third concern, but I can't bloody remember what it is. And then to give you an idea on how this whole drama is affecting values. Now, tell me what you think. Do you think this is bad? So an early car like this one here is reducing in price currently, or the worst month, which was last month, by £1,000. In the month of August, it didn't drop at all. Yeah, this car did not drop, didn't lose any value at all. In the month of September, it did. A newer 2018 car dropped by about 1,500 quid. In the month of September, okay? That's a lot of money. And then the new cars, the latest ones, sort of a 22 plate car, this is all explained in that video, by the way, they drop by about £2,000 a month quite consistently, yeah? But that's pretty much a brand new car. So you kind of would expect a new car to depreciate at a rate like that. And also, I think something's really worth pointing out is the month of September is a month that new regs come out, and it has an effect on the whole car market. So sometimes you see all this doom and gloom about anything in life, negative on the news, and it makes you think, oh, I don't want to do that. But me as a car dealer, I look at these things and I think, well, this is an opportunity. I think now's a good time to buy a Range Rover, because, you know, the feelings kind of, the negative feeling that's been put out there has actually affected the prices a little bit, but not drastically, not quite as drastically as everyone's making out. And you can get a pretty good car for not a lot of money. So that's the simple reason why I am currently considering buying one for myself as my own car. I'm going to talk about that more shortly as well. So if we quickly jump onto my platform, enterreg.com, this is our own platform that we built. If you're new here, it's a car trade only platform, but it's really bloody good. We've just updated it actually, literally yesterday. We updated this, the valuation side of it. And it just gives us more information about the car. So we've got the Range Rover here, YX14 UUN, tells you that it's an autobiography dynamic S at the top there, 90,000 miles, 5 previous owners. If we scroll down, it tells you the performance, hasn't got the engine power there, but it is 300 brake horsepower, roughly. 0-60 in 6.8 seconds. Top speed, 38 mile an hour, sorry. Sizes and dimensions, we've got just over 2 tons, 2,150. I thought it was more than that. I suppose they vary from engine size and stuff like that. But yeah, just over 2 tons, a little bit more than the Velar I mentioned earlier. Fuel consumption, the average range of what this is saying is actually 32.5 miles per gallon. So I think that's really good. Below that, we've got a list of spec, but this is the list of spec that's available to the car, not necessarily that's on this car. So you can tick the spec and it will give you an adjusted valuation. And you can see there's absolutely loads of spec options, yeah? We don't, annoyingly, I haven't got the actual spec list for this car. So valuations then. So yeah, if we use Experian and we use Auto Trader, Experian is basically Cap. Cap is like a big car valuer in the car world. They value it a retail value of £18,995. Then Auto Trader have a retail value of 23,000. You can see it just there, 23,197 compared to the 18,995 that Cap are saying. Yeah. They're miles apart. They're all over the place. Auto Trader is saying a trade value of 15 grand, but a retail of 23. That's like £8,000 margin. We don't get £8,000 margins out of cars. Trust me, I wish we did, but that don't happen. All right, so values all over the place. We've currently got this car advertised for £21,000, and you can see from the Auto Trader dealer portal management system that we use that it's getting really good activity. It's a high performing car, but it does show that it's advertised for a low price. But it does tell you that activity is high, providing you advertise the car at the right money, all right? So that gives you an idea of values. Do you think it's a good value for money car? Do you think they're actually depreciating as much as the world are screaming about? I don't know, we might talk more on that shortly. For now, let's get the engine started and hit the road and see how quickly it does 20 to 70 mile an hour. we go then. We are off in the Rangey. Got a slow forward focus up ahead. We don't know what, we're not here to prove the performance of this car. Well, we actually are here to prove the performance of this car, which it would be nice to have no slow focus in front of us, but it is what it is. So yeah, old Range Rover. Old, like this does not feel old whatsoever. In fact, they're turning off. That's brilliant. That's perfect. See that? That was our old site, by the way. He's going there. He's probably the tenant of our old site. You never know. I think it moves all right. It don't feel too sluggish at all, yeah? So I think what's also worth mentioning is the third concern that you probably will have if you're buying a Range Rover is going back to depreciation again, because you know, depreciation is a scary thing, but the reality of depreciation is pretty much every car that you buy, I say pretty much, there are cars that you can buy and earn money on, of course, if you keep hold of them and do the right things with them, but generally, every car depreciates, yeah? And the general rule as well is a newer car with lower mileage will depreciate more than an older car with higher mileage. But then the concern with an older car is that mic on, by the way? Yes, it is. We got to this point in the video the other day and it wasn't on. That's it, the mic is now on. I've got this mic, we switched mics there because these new mics are a bit, you know, I can't blame the mics. It's my fault, I didn't switch them on. But the concern with an older car is, of course, reliability. Is it going to go wrong? Now, if you look at old Range Rovers as a prime example, currently the cheapest one available on the internet right now, I had a look before I headed out, it's £15,000, right? That car has done 190,000 miles. That is a lot of miles. Now, I would say that you're probably playing with fire buying that car. I'm not saying that for definite. If it's been well maintained, it's had all of the usual sort of maintenance stuff done, like the cam belt and the brakes are good and suspension's been done and stuff like that, and it's been serviced like at the correct intervals, then it could be a really good car. But I think the priority is buying the right base car, yeah? And I honestly can't see, like this car here, for example, I can't see it falling far below £20,000 anytime soon. You just can't get a car of this quality, of this caliber, or this presence for less than 20 grand. You can't. I mean, it might happen quite soon, but I don't think it will. And then obviously, as you spend more money, as I mentioned earlier, the more you spend or the higher up the ladder you get, then depreciation is just slightly more fierce. But it ain't really any more fierce than it is on any car. So I'll just want to satisfy that fear. Something else I do want to talk about is the interior of these cars. So I have been looking at these, like I keep mentioning, as buying one for myself as a daily driver. I personally would want a Vogue because one, because my missus has got a Sport, but two, I just prefer a Vogue. I think they just have better road presence, they're bigger. I just feel like you get a bit more value for money with a Vogue as well. I think as the Sports are generally more demanded, well, that does generally hold the values better. So I would personally want a Vogue. I have been looking at these older cars. They've got the older infotainment system, which is, again, another reason why I wanted to drive it home last night, is I wanted to spend a bit of time with it, see what it's like, see how it sort of reacts. It is a little bit slow, it's a little bit irritating. Something else that's a bit irritating is to put a heated seat on, you've got to press that button there, and then it wakes up at the top, and then you press that button there to turn your heated seat on, and then you've got to press the red cross to turn that off. I'm pretty sure on the slightly newer cars, like the facelifts of these cars, there is a button, just a normal analog button you just press to turn your heated seat on, a bit like an old E46 BMW. So that's a little bit irritating, but that aside, I don't find this infotainment, it's not doing as it's told now. Oh no, you've got to press the red cross, Cal. I don't find it too bad at all. I think in 2017 they put the newer infotainment system off of the 2018 onwards cars, and they've done that I think they've done that for about a year, and then they facelifted them completely, the whole car, in 2018. But a 2018 car, like a facelift like the one that my missus has got, they are a lot more money. So again, going back to value for money, you're spending a lot more money. I don't feel like when I'm driving this car, I'm driving much less of a car at all. I think it's cool. I suppose in a dream world, you'd have a brand new one, wouldn't you? But it costs loads of money and it depreciates at a higher rate than everything else. But it's less likely to break down. Well, is it? Is it less likely? I don't know. Anyway, let's now do the draggy times. Not that it matters. This was not built to be a performance car, but it is standard practice on this channel. Let's see how it compares to the Velar, the old Vogue, the new Vogue, and whatever else I mentioned, yeah? Right, ready? 3, 2, 1, just floor it. Bit of turbo lag there, and we are off. So the Velar done it in 7.26 seconds, and I think the 2018 Vogue done it in 8.58. I reckon we're going to be around 8.5, surely. There we go.
So run number 1, we done it in 8.18 seconds. So we're sort of in the middle of the two, but as ever, we're gonna do 3 runs. I'm gonna do the other 2 runs off cam. I'm quite happy with that as a first run anyway, and I'll come back to you in a sec and let you know how quickly the fastest one of the 3 was, yeah? So, I've done 2 more runs, yeah? Do you think I've done quicker in those 2 runs, or did I do slower? Did I beat my original run of 8.18 seconds? What do you reckon? I can tell you that run number 2, yeah, we done it in 7.84 seconds, so quite a lot quicker. And then I done a third and final run, and the third and final run, we done it in 7.60 seconds. So that was the fastest run out of the lot. And if you look at the Draggy leaderboard, well, I mean, it's quite impressive considering the size and the weight of the car. But it's basically, it's quicker than, of course, a VXR. Quicker than the Corsa VXR. It sits right next to, I think, the Golf GT TDI that we had on Planet of Dreams a year or so ago. That was quite a cool car, and I think was it remapped? Was that car remapped? Either way, you know, like I said before, this ain't a performance car, but I think it's pretty cool. It moves all right. I think what it offers is road presence, luxury. It's not a crazy amount of money, and it's just a nice car in it. So when I was just parked up, by the way, setting up the Draggy box and stuff, I opened up the armrest, and this is something I forgot. It's got a proper fridge in there, proper little fridge in there. Like, these cars are wicked, man. Even the opening roof. I love that sunroof. It's got the full length of the car as well. So yeah, Meridian sound. I know I've mentioned all this, but yeah, I think in a nutshell, I quite like Land Rover as a brand. I think they're all right. They do have their issues, but I must admit, I've never had anything, touch wood, anything majorly go wrong with a Range Rover, right? So as much as they've got all this bad press, I think they're good. I'm sure there'll be some horror stories in the comments below, because a lot of people seem to have had issues with them previously, and it does scare people from buying them. But like I said, if you buy a well-maintained one, then you're less likely to have any issues with it. The good thing about Range Rover content for me is they always get good views, so I'm expecting this will do quite well. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up and leave it as that. This is my favourite purchase of the week. I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, hit like, hit subscribe if you do, and I'll see you next one. Bye.